Guy Taylor is the Chief of Advocacy and Communication for UNICEF Mozambique. He joins us from Pemba. Welcome to you, Guy. So the French government's talked of a dramatic chain of destruction across the island of an unexpectedly violent storm. I mean, what more can you tell us about the impact of Cyclone Chido?
Yeah, well, the impact here in Mozambique has also been quite substantial. So Chido made landfall close to where I am now in Pemba in northern Mozambique in the early hours of this morning, and it landed as an intense tropical cyclone. And as your report said, bringing with it winds of around 200 kilometers per hour and critically a lot of rain. And you can probably see some of the standing water in the background behind me. We've been around the city this morning to take a look at the impact and assess what are the initial critical needs of the population here. It's seen a lot of destruction, a lot of roofs torn off of houses, schools, healthcare centres being put out of operation, people really struggling to deal with the impact that they faced here and in need of immediate humanitarian support, which UNICEF is working together with our partners and in support of government to provide. But it's a very difficult situation and certainly a crisis of quite large magnitude.
And when it comes specifically to Mayotte, I mean, we're hearing of hospitals and the airport being badly damaged by this cyclone. I mean, how do you even go about getting in urgent aid when major infrastructure and vital infrastructure like that is damaged?
Yeah. Well, fortunately, the thing about cyclones is you can see them coming. And so UNICEF has been working with our partners to reposition a large volume of supplies here in Pemba, where we have a warehouse. So that includes just the critical things that people really need to stay safe and stay healthy during a crisis like this: water purification supplies, shelter materials, things like medications, and also treatments to prevent and treat cholera and other waterborne diseases, which is also obviously a major concern when you have a flooding event like this. But the need is great, and we don't have enough to cover the number of people who initially seems require support here from our initial assessments. So we're calling for urgent additional support to meet the needs of this crisis.
And talking about additional support, so when it comes to Mayotte, the French Interior Ministry says it's sending specialist police to the island. I mean, how much of a concern is the breakdown of law and order in the wake of devastation like this?
That's not something that I've seen in Pemba this morning. People seem to be working hard, and there's a strong community spirit as people work to rebuild and to clean up after the chaos. We've seen the government, firefighters who are providing support, even a bulldozer, which is helping to clear the roads from the many trees and electricity pylons that have fallen. But certainly, it's a big response. There's a big response needed here. There's a lot of damage, for sure.
And I mean, Mayotte has been called France's poorest island. I mean, even before this cyclone hit, I mean, Mayotte had struggled with drought, years of underinvestment, and also the prospect of having French citizenship birthrights stripped away as well. Do you think, in the wake of major devastating things like a cyclone on this scale, that it means that the likes of France will have to reconsider the amount of support it gives to its far-flung territories?
Well, I think, speaking for Mozambique, international support is certainly critical in responding to an emergency like this, and it's behind the ability of agencies like UNICEF and others to provide the support that we are. Mozambique is one of the poorest countries in the world, and Cabo Delgado is one of the poorest provinces in Mozambique. Many people here living in very rudimentary buildings. Already the availability of things like clean water, sanitation, basic public infrastructure is lacking. So it really doesn't have the capacity or the resilience to stand up to a crisis like this. And really, that it showcases the importance of investing before these things happen to make sure that we have resilient services, resilient infrastructure that can stand up to climate shocks, which are unfortunately becoming ever more common.
Guy Taylor, Chief of Advocacy and Communication at UNICEF. Many thanks for joining us. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.